Mission 4 in Fantasy General 2 is a rather tricky mission. So in this video I will show you how you can potentially beat it. So in this mission we are being attacked by an overwhelming force of Mistneech warriors, and they're coming at us from the north, the east and the south, and we have to kill them all. Now what we're going to try and do is not fight all of them at the same time, because there's no need for that. You might feel like you have to defend all of these settlements, but you do not have to win the mission. The only reason you might want to hold on to these settlements is because they provide fortification damage reduction, they provide a place to replenish your troops, you can buy mercenaries there, or potentially replace dead units. And another reason is, if they take the settlements, they can start recruiting units from there. But with that being said, our tactic today will be divide and conquer. I've kind of divided my own forces, but the reason for that is because we want to be able to grab all the loot that's on this map before we get under too much pressure. Because once the battle really starts, we won't have time to do that. So, first thing you should do on this map is take a unit and grab Speed Shrine. Speed Shrine will increase your unit speed by +1, and ideally you want to hold on to it for the whole battle, because it is quite a big deal. Now, what you also want to do is take a unit, and I'm using the Brotherhood of Ravens here. If you have a different army setup than I do, don't worry, you can still pull this off. It's just one way to beat the mission, after all. You can go over to this camp, and you get a dialogue here. There's a bear, and you get the option to break it free. That's what I kind of recommend. What that's gonna do, spawn an angry unit of bear hunters. Do not attack them. They will be useful, hopefully, if we're a little bit lucky. That will also give our units +1 morale from a popular decision. Apparently, Clan Beliach really likes bears. So I have one unit set up here. It's gonna explore these ruins. And in these ruins, we will find a Helm of Protection and a little bit of gold, and some angry wolves, which you should instantly attack. Now over on this side, let's give that Helmet of Protection to Falarson and search these burial mounds. In this burial mound, there's a boulder in the way, but Falarson, at the cost of taking a little bit of damage, is able to find a steel standard there. If you give that steel standard to your slingers, which I recommend, then they will provide an aura that gives units around them a smaller chance to suffer kills. Now there's another burial mound here, which we're gonna explore. Let's see what it gives us. You have the option not to search it, but I recommend that you do, because the only penalty you incur is a loss of morale, which one turn of resting will get rid of, and you gain your first armor in the game. And that will be useful because now we can upgrade one of these younglings to Axeman, but I don't recommend you do that yet. Now, for your defense over here, you can see there's these two mountain passes with rough terrain, which is very defensible, and that's exactly what we're going to use to our advantage here. We will abandon the mana pool, and we will use these mercenary units that you get from the start to try and hold this choke point, while positioning a melee unit and a unit of slingers up here. What that's gonna do is not only provide your units with more defense, but also give them infinite defensive charges. That's a trait they have. Plenty of ammo grants infinite defensive charges while on rough terrain. That's gonna create a very defensible spot right there. Elsa, she's a ranged attacker, so we're gonna put her here. And that should almost be it for the first round. I recommend you grab these dragon bones as well. So what that's gonna do is give this unit a buff, permanent buff even, that will increase its damage versus dragons and lizards. Now, we're certainly hoping the Mistneech aren't bringing dragons, We're also not expecting them to bring lizards, but that's something that will come into play later. I recommend you buy one mercenary, because I said we were gonna do divide and conquer, so we will need a unit to try and bait this attack force over here. And it is 56 gold, may seem like a lot, but the way you have to think about it is like this. If you can finish the mission faster because of them, you get more gold. If you lose fewer of your units because you have an easier time fighting the enemy, that also saves you money. And more importantly, weapons and armor, which is, I think, more valuable than gold. So, let's end the turn, see what happens. As you can see, the attack wave from the north is pretty small, it's only 3 units. Which units exactly they have is sort of random. Now these bear hunters, as you can see, they're actually not attacking us. They're attacking the Mist Niche. That's exactly why we try to spawn them there. Now, keep fighting those angry wolves so they don't cause trouble later. And what we want to do here is go inside the sight range of these units, because we want to lure them up here, where they will be mostly harmless for the rest of the battle. If they go into the middle here, while our forces are engaged with this wave, and they come into the back, they take our shrine, and they take this settlement, then they're gonna cause a lot of trouble. We just don't have enough units to attack them all at the same time. So, we're gonna try and lure them. And hope they take the bait. Of course, this is a tactic you can use, but AI behavior is, not set in stone. So let's set an ambush here with our younglings, because since it's only 3 units, I feel like this is a wave you can kind of take head on. Just need to be a little bit clever about it and set some ambushes. So these units are going up north again to deal with that wave. Valorson is gonna come over here to protect his sister. Lenare spears will rest to regain their morale, otherwise they incur a damage penalty. And this unit will fortify its position. That's gonna stack with the terrain they're already on, so it's really good. Over here, you also want to be on the rough terrain. Just wait for them to come to you. Don't be too eager to get damage in, because as you will see, they outnumber us by quite a bit. We have to be smart. We want to win this. So here they come, they're taking the mana pool. They do not have any spellcasters, so the mana pool doesn't help them that much. Okay. They're attacking the bear hunters. So far, not attacking our slingers here. Or javelins, I should say. But they may take the bait still. So let's stay within their sight range and hope they come over. Because this unit, the reason I took javelins is because if it gets attacked in melee, there's a chance it will run away as well. The angry wolves are dead, and we're gonna set more ambushes here. Also bring in the Brotherhood of Ravens. Now on this side, the enemy has approached. We're gonna put Valorson there. I chose the path of the leader, increases morale and damage to our units. So I always want to have him in the biggest fights. We have 2 ranged attackers here, and potentially the Spear Maidens could attack as well, but I recommend just holding them in defense, because if you attack with them, they lose that fortification bonus. Let's bring up Lenare Spears, so they can start attacking from next turn onward. Same thing on this side, just hold your position. Defensive fire is coming in. That's what we want. And we don't really care if this unit gets destroyed or either of these two are lost, because they're only mercenaries. Oh, this is quite fortunate. They ran into our ambush. The younglings will face a little bit of retaliation, but that's fine. Yep, they are somewhat taking the bait. These units are serving as a good distraction. Now we don't know whether they actually moved back up north, so we're going straight back in. Yeah, we can see they're right there. But I do think that some of them are still marching up here. Now, we saved that piece of armor, and there's a very good reason for it. You see how this unit has 7 out of 10 men left? Well, if you upgrade it to Axemen, you only have 6 men in their unit. So upgrading it now actually heals it, as you can see. And that gives us a good unit to finish off these slingers with. Perhaps I should have run and just set more ambushes. Now we're kind of committed to this. But it is a 3-on-1 fight, so we will take some losses here, I think. But that's just something we're gonna have to deal with. These javelins, I would recommend also bringing them back over here to regroup with these troops and eventually go there. Now here we can see that the Thane has kind of exposed himself, and he is of course the prime target. We will hit him with Alsa, it's not a lot of damage. We also will hit him with Valorson, still not a lot of damage. They have no other choice than to attack the Thane, so let's do that. But with the slingers, we're not gonna hit the Thane, we're actually gonna try and kill some younglings, because with every unit that falls, whether they get wounded or killed, the enemy morale suffers a little bit. Now this Thane will be able to restore the morale and also buff it, because he does have that war leader trait that Valorson also has. But eventually they will start breaking. Try to prioritize killing as many as possible. It tells you exactly how many you're going to wound or kill, so I would say go for it. And only really put damage on the Thane if you're sure you're gonna be able to kill him. Or you're sure that you will be able to chase him if he runs away. Okay, this unit a bit wounded, but it's just gonna stay there for now. Yep, there he goes. Buffing that morale. And as you can see, it's working. Some of their units are coming here and they're wasting their attacks and they're wasting their time. Meanwhile, we can keep being aggressive with these javelins, because we don't really care if we lose them. They're only mercenaries. And meanwhile, our forces here don't have to contend with the units over here that would otherwise be coming straight through the back and be quite a nuisance to us. So at this stage, I think it's safe to try and finish off these units here before they get a chance to rest. Javelins are not going to do much damage there in the forest against shielded troops. But let's just bring them in anyway, I guess. Or will we? I mean, these are sort of the decisions you'll have to make for yourself based on how the battle is evolving in your game. One thing that's definitely making this game a little bit easier is that you can see how much damage the enemy will do to you if they attack as well. So I recommend you take advantage of it. Now, Brotherhood of Ravens, they can go for a favorable attack here. They didn't suffer kill, so the attack from the north is pretty much dead. We don't have to fear them coming down here anymore. We will be able to free up these units in just a minute. Now on this side, I do recommend holding this defensive position over here, unless their units are trying to rest. If their units are trying to rest, then it's okay to move from that defensive position and just try to mess with them a little bit. For now, we're just going to try and finish off this unit. So always go for ranged attacks first, so the unit is as weak as possible before you have to go into melee with it, because you'll take less return damage, obviously. It is really tempting to charge forward here and abandon this defensive position, but it's not something I would recommend. So let's see how the next turn evolves. So, I believe that's gonna be it, because I won't play this whole mission, but you can see you're able to hold off the attackers here. They're trying to rest, so at this stage I would recommend going in there and stopping them from resting and finishing off some weakened units. We have managed to distract almost an entire attack wave with just one unit, so that mercenary paid for itself really well. We have been able to wipe out the northern attack force here. Now if you try this tactic, it may work out slightly differently for you, based on what the AI does, based on what your army composition is. So do keep thinking about how you want to adapt to the situation, even if it's not exactly what you saw in this video. I just think this is one way to beat this mission, and I hope it works out for you. Good luck on the battlefield, and see you in the next video.